Hey gang, it's Clay here, and thank you all for hanging out with me here at Mountain Music Exchange. Today we are going to check out yet another really cool Epiphone 2020 guitar. 2020 has decidedly not been everybody's favorite year, but that being said, I think 2020 might really be Epiphone's best year in a long time. Check this out. This is the new Extura Prophecy Extura. Extura? Clay, what's an Extura? It's a mix between, like, it looks way more Explorer to me anyway. But it's a mix sort of between the two body styles of an Explorer and the like Gibson Futura, which is this sort of even crazier, more angled, jagged sort of German expressionist type of body design. And you can see here too, like how it kind of stays flat a little more here rather than kind of angle up and over. That's really the only sort of Futura part of this that I really see, other than the body is a little bit smaller overall than an Explorer. If you remember anything like the Explorer 90 or the Explorer Pro from some years ago, it's probably something more in that ballpark as far as size and feel. It's got a little bit of Futura, but like I said, not a lot. This is really my first day getting to play with this. We've actually had it in the store for a couple of days, but this is really the first day that I've had to be able to kind of check this out and give this a spin and look at it and hold it and love it. So I think we're just gonna go start with the obvious and then we'll go from top to bottom. How's that? Is that cool? I hope that's cool. I don't know. First off, you can see this really nice flame top on this. Check that out. That is a really cool flame on a color that is called by Epiphone Yellow Tiger. So you can be the Tiger King if you have one of these. There's also Purple Tiger and another really wild, crazy color called Black. Sorry, just black. Another couple of obvious things here. Fishman Fluence pickups. If you've played the old Prophecy series, they either had like a set of Gibson pickups, usually like the 490, 498 set, or like an EMG 8160. And those are really cool guitars. I love those guitars. They play awesome. They sound awesome. They're purpose built. They didn't sort of do that split pickup thing between models this year because of the Fishman Fluence. And the reason why is, why would you? First of all, they're active, if you didn't see that earlier. But what's active about these isn't necessarily just the output. There is a preamp in here where when you, I'm sorry, I pressed, it's push. I did a Fender review earlier with push pushes. This one has push pulls. So when you pull up on each individual volume or tone knob, you can kind of correspond it to the appropriate pickup there, you know. When you do that, you go from like a vintage, sound, like a, you know, PAF style tone if you're looking for that, something a little more airy, a little more bluesy. Of course, when they're down, it's full shred, high octane, high output. So you've kind of got the best of both worlds. You've got like vintage and modern, so there's no need to do like a dual range on that, you know. So, oh, and if you have both of these pulled, it's actually then becomes a single coil. How cool is that? So you can split. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, by the way. Just gonna go ahead and put it out there. If you pull one of these, maybe it splits each one, and if you pull both, maybe your pickups are then vintage voice like a PAF. It's one of the two. Don't really know for sure. I gave it a spin, but you could tell like audible differences. But just let me know in the comments below. What an idiot I am. I'll take it. I'm fine with that. Okay, so anywho, let's go top to bottom on this thing now and take a look. All right, so Grover locking tuners first and foremost. Look at that. And it's going to be noticeable from top to bottom because it's literally from the very top to the very bottom. There's also a gorgeous layer of single layer binding all the way from the top of the headstock all the way down to the bottom of the lower bout. Okay, so Grover locking tuners. I don't know if you can see this in this video, but they have a very, very cool look. They're not chrome, they're sort of brushed like the Fishman Fluence pickups themselves. As a matter of fact, all of the hardware is brushed. You can see that there's brushing in every piece of the hardware here, even in the input jack. Check that out. I don't know if you can see that, but I hope you can. If you can tell it on the bridge that it's not totally chrome, that it's got sort of a brush, it's like that on every single piece of hardware on this guitar, which I think is just a neat touch to even throw on the jack there. The tops of the knobs, everything. So I think that's really, really cool. Okay, going on down the neck, you've got a new bone nut here, Graphtec. Self-lubricating, should hold tune very well, especially considering the headstock design here. You don't have the typical 3x3 Gibson issue with the G going out. Maybe some folks have had that issue with an Explorer style headstock anyway. By all means, let me know in the comments below if you have. I will certainly not fight about it because it is a Gibson design after all, and every now and then they do that to us. So, cool stamp number in the back. As you go on down the neck here, which by the way, you have a 12-inch radius ebony fretboard on an asymmetrical slim taper neck, and it definitely has an interesting taper, an interesting feel on the bass side versus the treble side. It is definitely designed for sort of multi-purpose use, I feel like. It sort of gets big here. Like it starts out here and it's definitely a slim taper neck, but once you get down to here, it's actually kind of got some beef there. I mean, it's kind of a big neck. All right, so anywho, check out those inlays too. It's like a combination of perloid and like abalone. Looks really good. Again, 12-inch radius on an ebony fingerboard. Now, this is not totally just pitch black ebony, for sure. You can see, and I'll try to see if you can see, there is some striping there. So it's got a little bit of a unique look, but overall, it's not totally black, but it's super dark. And it's gonna still give you that sort of snap and that hardness of like ebony or maple. All right, cool. And of course, this flame top, check this out. Look at that flame top again. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that because the 59 Epiphone Les Paul reissue is like a veneer, I'm gonna say this is probably a veneer too, but you can still do all the cool flame things that you want. It doesn't have like a photo flame. There is a depth to it. When you kind of turn it in the light, you can see the grain patterns change and all that fun stuff. Yeah, man, this is a cool guitar. I'll be honest with you, out of the box, this is not my favorite setup. The strings are a little up, and I think because of that, they feel a little heavier than they normally should. It says here, in every spec sheet that I've looked at, it says it's strung with 10s, but I really don't, it feels a lot heavier, but I think it's because the action is a little bit high on this. ABR1 style bridge, by the way, if you're curious on a guitar of this variety. It is an ABR1 style bridge, but it still does have like the Nashville style posts, so it's not going directly into the wood like a traditional older ABR1 would do. It does go into the posts. But yeah, this is gorgeous. It's a vintage gloss finish like the 1959. Let's see if I got any nitpicks about it. Fit and finish and quality actually seem really, really well done on this guitar, especially right here. Since this is sort of a shredder guitar, you know, you've got that sort of contoured neck heel area here that you would normally see on a much more expensive Gibson guitar. And speaking of price, by the way, I think this thing is, hold on, let's take a look, $899. So my gripe with it is that it does not come in the case at $899, but that's it. Overall, I still think it's very, very, very much worth it if you're into a guitar that is pretty much going to be right there on the pro level. You could totally take this and gig with it. It is very functional. It looks very good. It looks more expensive than it is even at $899, and even being an Epiphone, which is typically the lower, you know, like inspired by a Gibson line and not a Gibson line. I think it's very much worth it. I like this guitar a lot, actually. Very, very cool stuff. All right, am I missing anything? Oh, I am. I'm missing a super important thing. I went on and on about the fretboard. Did anybody count with me here? No, because I didn't count. But if you counted on your own, you counted all the way up to, look at the double dots. That's right, 24. So this thing has 24 frets. So you can really, and you don't have terrible access. Although I'll be honest with you, if you're playing, for whatever reason, at the 24th fret is not going to be your best day if you have to have that 24th fret on this guitar. But that being said, you've still got a clear access to a good majority of the higher register. It can totally be done. It's just not maybe not the most comfortable one to do it with. But I think that's got us on this. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate all the feedback, everything, good or bad, either one. We're trying to make the videos better. We're still sort of, you know, winging it in a lot of ways, especially with everything going on right now. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you all. If you want to check out more of what we've got in stock, including this guitar, as of this video being posted, check us out on mountainmusicexchange.com. Now, as of this video being filmed, sorry, we did that before the video got posted, all the guitars are gone. So check us out at mountainmusicexchange.com. Check us out on Facebook, check us out on YouTube, depending on which one of those you're not watching us on right now. And check us out on Instagram at Mountain Music Exchange. Guys, this is the Extura Prophecy Extura. I'm Clay, and you rock. So thank you, and have a good one. We'll see you.